as we come into this awareness that indeed God is present here and now. Take me down just a bit. That's a little bit hot. Thank you. In the awareness of God, here and now. Let us pray. We open ourselves to the love that is sourced in the heart of God, moving through us into this moment. Feeling the transforming power of this love, blessing us as it passes through us, and blessing others that are in our experience and in our consciousness. So the clerk in the dollar store, the perpetrator of this tragic deed, all of those in our experience who seem to have a need for the awareness of God's presence, and ourselves when we forget our relationship with God. All of these we hold in the awareness of God's presence, knowing full well that we are blessed. And in this awareness, we give thanks. And so it is that together we say, Amen. Well, a labor of love, as Kay pointed out, coming up on Thursday of this week, we have the prayer vigil that's going to be happening here. Actually, it's not truly a vigil because we're actually going to take a break for lunch. But we'll have from 10 to 12:30, and then from about 1:30 to 3, we'll be gathered here in prayer. And if you have anyone in particular that you would like to hold in prayer during that vigil, we have prayer requests out by the prayer box. Just put those prayer requests in the prayer box out there. And those gathered on Thursday will have the opportunity to hold those in loving prayer. So the title of this talk, A Labor of Love, is actually paying a bit of homage to Labor Day tomorrow. And it also points out that our labor of expressing love in each moment, even when we feel like, well, there's no way that I can turn my attention to that now. I'll wait until I'm quit being pissed about whatever it is that I'm pissed about. I'll love then. I'll express love then. But that's the point, is that this is sometimes laborious. Sometimes we have to buck up and step into it with open heart. Sometimes we have to address the circumstances that are before us that seem to be frustrating us, that seem to be causing us fear, and to allow that awareness within us to heal. The prayer, the World Day of Prayer coming up on Thursday, the affirmation is, as I discover the power within, I unleash my divine potential. As I discover the power within, I unleash my divine potential. So let's say that together. As I discover the power within, I unleash my divine potential. Let's do that again. As I discover the power within, I unleash my divine potential. what is that power within? How many of you have experienced the power within? And you don't need to raise your hand. It's a rhetorical question. I'm asking you to raise it in your own consciousness. What is that power? And how does that power manifest in your life? When you experience that power, what is that experience like? And where is that power sourced? Where does it come from? Paying homage to the fact that today is the first day of NFL football season, we turn to Pete Carroll, who is the wisdom of the Northwest. He's sometimes regarded as the sage of the web-footed ones. Each person holds so much power within themselves that needs to be let out. Sometimes they just need a little nudge, a little direction, a little support, a little coaching, and the greatest things can happen. The greatest things can happen. Now, in his perspective, I'm not a mind reader, but certainly he spends a lot of time coaching individuals, right? He's built a substantial team. And his practice of bringing out the best in others is superior. He's been... He is where he is because he is such a good coach. I suggest to you that our most important task is to coach ourselves. To coach ourselves, to realize that we are all that we need to be. We are, as Kay said, we are worthy, we are valuable. Coaching ourselves to keep that in mind. We are loved, we are worthy, we are valuable. A little support, a little coaching, and the greatest things can happen. And while in his mind he may be focused on bringing out that extra speed, that extra agility, that extra game presence in his players, each and every one of us, in realizing that we are our own best coach, if we pay attention to it. You know, sometimes we need coaching in being our own best coach, right? I know that's the case for me. So as we realize that the best is within us, great things can come from us. Those great things may be some extraordinary project that you're working on that you want to stimulate, some great change you want to make in a relationship, perhaps. Or maybe it's just to elevate your own awareness. That self-coaching is so important for us to realize that indeed we are worthy, we are valuable, we are loved. And that realization will allow us to come into a greater acceptance of the fact that we are the presence of God here in this moment. We are the expression of God here in this moment. We are the vessel of love that is God. When we realize that we are the vessel of love that is God, things start to shift in our own awareness. We let go of the petty expectations. You know, in the Daily Word today it talks about the expectations, but I'd prefer that they had used the word anticipations, so I would not have to take this time to correct them. But anticipations, the difference between expectations and anticipation is the attachment to outcome. So if we let go of our attachment to outcome, we can talk about our anticipations. Our anticipations would be that we have the experience, we have the power, we have the knowledge, we have the characteristics in our own being to be that full expression of God. And it is then just a choice that we need to make. Jesus offered us this passage. Actually, Jesus didn't offer us this passage. The writer of Luke, some 45 or 50 years after the execution of Jesus. Once Jesus was asked by the Pharisees when the kingdom of God was coming, and he answered, the kingdom of God is not coming with things that can be observed, nor will they say, look, here it is, or there it is. For in fact, the kingdom of God is among you. In some translations, it's the kingdom of God is in the midst of you. Or the kingdom of God is within you. And I'd like you to focus on that. The kingdom of God is within you. The kingdom of God is within you. What does that mean? That means that God is resident in you, not in the daytime, not just at nighttime, but all the time. And it is merely a matter of your coaching yourself to realize that you are the resident of God. Now, each and every one of us is a resident of God, so it's not that there is a separate being that is, oh, well, I'm going to come and occupy David for a while, or I'm going to come and occupy Pam for a while, or I'm going to come and occupy Barb for a while. But rather, we are all the children of God. We are all the expression of God, and God is present everywhere, in all situations, in all relationships, in all conditions, and in each and every one of us. When we realize that we are the residents of God, then it is just a matter of choice for us to say, okay, God's here now. I know that God is love. How can I be the expression of God? I can be the expression of love, unconditional love, without any regard to what someone said or what someone wants or what someone has done for me. It's not about some kind of conditional contract with relationships that we have, but rather it is the unconditional expression of this God energy moving through us. And when we are able to realize that, when we're able to make that real in our experience, then we are truly the ambassadors of God. We are truly the expressions of God. We are truly the practitioners that Jesus encouraged us to be. In, excuse me, in John 14, verses 15 through 17, Jesus said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. Now, what are those commandments? When Jesus was asked by the Pharisees, what are the greatest commandments? The greatest commandments, Jesus is quoted as saying, is love God with all your heart, love your neighbor as yourself. Love God with all your heart. What does that mean? Does that mean looking out upon your conditions and saying, well, you know, I probably would have a better experience of love if that were different, or if that person were different, or if that relationship were more loving, or if the prosperity that I've been promised was evident in my life, I'd be happier and I'd be able to love more effectively if that were the case. That's not what it's saying, not at all. Love God with all your heart, regardless. And love your neighbors as yourself, regardless. Love your neighbors as yourself. I usually complete that, and I'll complete it again with, why do we love our neighbors as ourselves? Because our neighbors are ourselves. We are the unique individual expression of God, but in this personal expression, there is also another over here that is a personal expression of God. And there is another back there that's a personal expression of God. And another, and another, and another. And if I haven't looked at you, don't feel left out, because we are all a personal expression of God. And in the awareness that we are all a personal expression of God, our relationship is an intimate relationship in spirit. Our relationship is a consciousness of love. What would happen? What would happen if you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that you were the vessel of God's love right now? Without a shadow of a doubt. You would not have anything rise in your awareness that says, well, oh yeah, but if. What if you knew absolutely, I am God's love in this moment? I am the vessel of God's love in this moment. If you knew that beyond a shadow of a doubt, then all of the cares that you carry with you, all of the worries that you have about tomorrow, and all the regrets that you had about yesterday, and all the relationship screw-ups that you have been party to, and all of the insults that have been hurled your way, and all of the hatred that seems to be expressed out there in the world, it would all, not that it would disappear, because we still need to be aware of our environment, right? But nonetheless, we can be that expression that helps heal the moment, that helps heal the relationships, that helps heal the conditions of the world. We can be that expression of love, because if you keep my commandments, I will ask the Father, and he will bring to you another advocate. Now, keep in mind that this was written by the author of John, that was written in the neighborhood of 70 to 80 years after the crucifixion of Jesus. Okay, so this is a look back. Think about if you were called upon to write about someone, let's say Gandhi. Now, we have a whole lot of material that's written about Gandhi, right? But Gandhi passed in 48. So that was how long ago? That was 68 years ago. That's about the time when the book of John was written relative to the crucifixion. Now, if all of the material had not been written about Gandhi, but you had been a follower of Gandhi, or more properly, more accurately, you were in a school that studied Gandhi's teachings, and you had to write about Gandhi. And here's an opportunity for you to talk about how Gandhi approached peace and how he approached the expression of love, even in the face of the guns of the British Empire. I will give to you another advocate, and to be with you forever. This will be the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it neither sees him, the Spirit of truth, nor knows him. You know him because he abides with you, and he will be in you. So here is the advocate. Some refer to that as the Holy Spirit. I'm really not a Trinity kind of guy. I feel like that's a little bit of a complication. I'm more in the frame of mind that there is God and there is the Christ in each and every one of us. God is living in us as the Christ, and the Christ is our personal connection with God. Someone asked me here recently, well, do you believe in angels? Well, I've not had personal experience with angels, so I can't say that I believe in them. I know that there are people that are absolutely certain that angels exist, and they've even identified particular angels that are their guardian angels. That's all well and good. That's just not how I encounter this. I encounter this, that there is God. God is consciousness itself. That there is no being out there, there is no separation between me and God. It's only the awareness within me that is the separation. That is the lack of awareness in me. That is the separation. So when we talk about the power that is within us, going back to that affirmation, as I discover the power within, I unleash my divine potential. What is that power within? I don't think that it is anything separate or apart or anything unique or anything that's been given to me now that I didn't have an hour ago or 2 days ago or 15 years ago, or for God's sake, 69 years ago. I don't think that there's anything that is separate and apart that was given to me, but the power within me is choice. My choosing to be aware of the love that is always available to me. That's the power. The power is choice. and I choose to be the expression of God in this moment, that is the power. And when I choose to be the expression of God in this moment as love that is streaming through me unconditionally, and it comes into my experience, and it comes into my moment, and it blesses me as it passes through me into the moment, that's when I unleash my divine potential. So it is a matter of being aware. That's the power. The awareness within us that we are the expression of God. So knowing this, how does this show up in our lives? What is it that changes in our life? You know, it may not be that we have a different relationship. It may not be even that the person in the relationship with which we're concerned, it may not be that that person changes one iota. But our response to that circumstance, our response to that relationship, our response to that condition changes. Why? Because we no longer are afraid. We're no longer afraid of the outcome. We're no longer afraid of the conditions. We're no longer afraid of someone else imposing themselves on me. We are no longer afraid. And when we let go of that fear, we are now in the flow. We're in the flow. And we notice how things just unfold naturally for us. That we don't have to worry about what needs to be done. We notice, we respond. Responding in love allows us to pave the way. It may not seem smooth or it may not seem appropriate at the time, but in retrospect, we get down the road and we look back on where we've been, and we recognize that where we are right now was dependent upon that adverse condition, upon that blessing, upon that relationship challenge, upon, you see? So we come to our point in consciousness when we are aware of God's love, and we recognize that our path was necessary. The things in our path were necessary for us to bring to this point in consciousness that indeed I am the expression of God's love now. And I choose to be that expression. And we bless all of our past. We let go of our concerns about the future because we know in that full awareness of God's love, that we are the expression of God's love, that future is going to be also a blessing because we are going to be aware of God's love in that moment. And so it is. We release our divine potential as we recognize, re-know, as we recognize who we are. We'll have our meditation. As we come into our meditation, let us come in with I cast all my care. In this moment, we open ourselves to the realization that we are the vessel of God. We are the kingdom of God. God's residence is within us. We are the expression of God. We are in our fractured state, the potential of God fully expressing in this moment as love. And all of its derivatives, compassion, patience, kindness, openness, receptivity. We are the expression of God's love here and now. How does that feel? bring to mind the feeling of love. Strip away all of the conditions we might attach to it, and just feel the love itself. That feeling of love requires that we be in the present moment. Just notice it. How does it feel? That brings your consciousness front and center, right now, right here. Feeling that love expressing unconditionally cleanses the moment, purifies our consciousness, unburdens us of the fears that might otherwise lurk in the dark corners. Love, here, now. Feeling that love and opening ourselves to the expression of that love, we are blessed. Healing is underway. We are lifted. Our countenance changes. Our relationships transformed. Our peace returns to us. Breathing in and breathing out, feeling this love moving through us. We give thanks that we have the power within us to transform our lives right now. And in that awareness, we come back to this time and place, sharing the words of Hallelujah. Hallelujah.